Welcome to Revelation Unraveled. I'm your host, William Tapley, also known as the third eagle of the apocalypse and the co-prophet of these end times. On this program, I want to talk a little bit more about that amazing smoke ring that appeared over the head of Pope Francis at the Mass which he said on Pentecost Sunday, May 23rd, this year, 2021, at St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. And I believe it was a sign from Almighty God. And it's about the fall of Pope Francis and the fall of the Catholic Church. And since I did those first videos, I believe I have discovered a few more things in that amazing miracle, or spiritual manifestation, I guess you could say. In fact, one of my subscribers also said that she saw a rosary in that smoke ring. So let's take a look at that. And I believe there are 5 different images, and they are all significant. And as I say, I believe they depict the fall of Pope Francis and the Catholic Church. So let's take a look at the first manifestation of the smoke ring, and that is when it comes up out of the incense thurible, I believe it's called, and it does look like a halo over Pope Francis's head, and it looks like it rises, and I believe that indicates the rise of, I guess you could say, purity, or sanctity, and not only for Pope Francis but for the Church. And I believe that that was signified 2,000 years ago, the start of the Church, and for Pope Francis, of course, it was about 50 years ago. But then this smoke ring morphs into what my subscriber called a rosary. So isn't that interesting? It does look like a rosary. So what would that indicate? I think that indicates for the Church the time when St. Dominic received the rosary, which was about 1250. So in other words, it's a time stamp. And for Pope Francis, I think it would indicate perhaps when he took holy orders, when he became a priest, or maybe when he became a bishop. I believe it is a time stamp, and it shows the passage of time, in other words. And now the rosary eventually morphs into an eagle holding a snake, as I've said before. But before that, we get what I would consider, I would say maybe like turmoil or conflict. Remember, the rosary was given to St. Dominic to fight against heresy, the heresy of Albigensianism. And I think that the fruit of Albigensianism was conflict and turmoil in the Catholic Church, and eventually it led to the breakup of the Catholic Church. And that would indicate the coming of St. Vincent Ferrer, and that is where the eagle comes in. St. Vincent Ferrer called himself the angel of the apocalypse, but I believe he was referring to that passage in the Bible about the eagle crying, "Woe, woe, woe," to the inhabitants of the earth. And the first woe was the breakup of Christianity, the division into 2 camps, the Catholic Church, basically, and then those who rejected the papacy, and that would be the Orthodox and the Protestants. So that division is shown by the eagle holding a snake. In other words, the eagle, I believe, represents the Catholic Church, and the snake would represent the fallen away denominations. But is there anything about this image that might verify what I am saying? Well, take a closer look at that eagle. Doesn't that look like the number 3? You don't have to turn it too far on its side to realize that that is a number. And the snake, or whatever it is he's holding in his talons, doesn't that look like a number 1? So we have the number 13, and I immediately said, I wonder if there's any other numbers in this manifestation. Well, of course, the halo at the beginning would be a 0, but I don't think 0 has much significance as far as prophecy goes. Once in a while it does, but I don't believe in this case. But there is, just before the number 13, if you look closely, doesn't that look like the number 8? Well, now that is significant, because in Revelation 8:13, what do we read? We read about the eagle crying, woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth. St. Vincent Ferrer called himself the angel of the apocalypse. I personally think he was the first eagle. And of course, I refer to myself as the third eagle of the apocalypse. St. Vincent's job was to warn about the breakup of Christianity. I think that's what we see with the eagle and the snake. Two different forms coming out of the halo and the rosary. And my job is to warn Pope Francis in these end times. I think we have a dual prophecy here. And we consider the breakup of Christianity with the eagle on top being the Catholic Church, the snake that he's holding being the non-Catholic Church. And I believe this is a prophecy, not only about St. Vincent Ferrer, the first eagle, and me as the third eagle, but we are warning both the Catholic and the Protestant denominations. But the shocking thing is that both denominations, both split-ups of Christianity, which Jesus would abhor, he prayed for unity, they both turn into demons. And that's the really shocking part of this miraculous manifestation. In the Vatican, both the eagle and the snake that it's holding turn into demonic entities which enter into Pope Francis. And that timestamp would be right now. And that would be synonymous, the snake entering into the Catholic Church at the same time that Pope Francis is demonically possessed. And remember, Mary prophesied at La Salette that Rome would lose the faith and become the seat of the Antichrist. So I think this miraculous halo, the smoke ring which appeared back in May 23rd, by the way, the 23rd is another number for the Antichrist, 2/3 or 666. I think that's significant. I believe that's why we were shown this miracle. As I say, it's about the fall of Pope Francis and the fall of the Catholic Church.